Hello everybody and welcome back to Pokemon Emerald. This is the second video this week to make up for the last week. So if you missed it, go back and watch yesterday's video for the conclusion of the Juan starter trio. Today instead I have a bit of a unique video. A few weeks ago I discovered and criticized Steven for using a special Aggron. You know what they say, don't judge a book by its cover, so I am going to try this build and see how it does. Even if this is an odd video, there are still the same rules in place, so I can only use the starter in combat. I can't use items from my bag in battle, I can't raise my evasion in any way, and I can't use cheats or glitches. There is only one small problem. Aggron does not start with a special move, and she can't learn one up until Mobile. So we are going to immediately break the fourth rule and use Game Hook to give myself a special move. I was not sure how much that would destroy my game, so I waited until after picking up the starter to mess with the game code. I chose Icy Wind since it's the weakest legal move Aggron can learn. Using cheats can have unforeseen consequences like losing all of my VPs, but at least it did not break my game. Again. With our new move, I tried to do the first fight against our rival. Unfortunately, ice is resisted by water, so Mudkip takes a while to defeat, but at the same time, he can't do much to me with Tackle. My biggest worry here was running out of PPs for Icy Wind. The accuracy is not awful, so I only missed a couple and defeated Mudkip in the end. Also, pay no mind to the random character's move, that is also a consequence of the cheat. After a little chat with our dad and Wally, we can find the Team Aquagrant in the forest harassing some scientists, so we jump in to intervene. This one was not hard but annoying. With a couple of sand attacks, hitting Icy Wind was not reliable, so it took a few too many turns. After the encounter, I also leveled up and learned a new move that I cannot use, but at least I can get rid of the cursed one. Next, I grinded a bit, and after exhausting all of the easy XP sources, I took on Roxanne. I was not very worried about the match against her. The Geodudes are weak to ice, so they should die in 2 hits. Nosepass will last a lot longer, but at least I should not be in risk of dying, considering my massive defense and the fact that steel resists rock. Instead, I was again worried about Icy Wind's PP. This time my fears are justified, as I used all of them up against the rock face, but I equipped a Leppa Berry that allowed me to recover some, and with the extra uses I could finish off Roxanne's ace and finally take home the first badge of the region. It was a bit boring, but I will not complain about a free win. After that, I had to do the side quests with Pico, and then I could attempt the optional match against May just before leaving. This one did not go well at all. Both of her Pokémons resist ice and can do good damage to me with special moves. I could have grinded and attempted her at a higher level, but since it's optional, I admitted defeat for once and moved on. Having learned my lesson from this defeat, I skipped Brawly and went straight to Slateport, where we can find another fight with the Team Aquagrants. Fortunately, even though they are kinda annoying, I have more than enough stats to take them on. Icy Wind does not make contact, so I did not trigger the Rough Skin ability from Carvana, and it is super effective on Zubat. As you might have guessed from the past few encounters, I am starting to get pissed at Icy Wind for being such a bad move. I have been dreaming the moment when I can get something better. Unfortunately, before I can do that, I have one last fight with our rival. I was extremely worried for this one. Her starter evolved and now has a stab ground move. Fortunately, there are also some good news. Ice is now neutral against it, and in Slateport I can learn Swagger. It's risky, since with more attack she can defeat me much faster, but it might be the only option. I used 3 iron defense against her lead to max my defense, so hopefully I will leave a couple of hits. As you saw, that does not guarantee victory, but in this attempt, Marshtomp hit himself in confusion twice in a row, and that's all I needed to get rid of him. May's last Pokémon is Slugma, so she has no last Pokémon. Just kidding, Slugma is a bit more dangerous than usual. Resists ice and does okay damage with Ember. A burn could have been a problem, but she does not get it. It took a while to go down because she kept putting me to sleep. Eventually I defeated May and can move on to Moville. Here, after grinding a while, I bought the Flamethrower TM and taught it to Aggron. This will be very useful for the gym. I am not sure what to say about Watson. I thought he would be a bit hard. His Pokémons are fast and can do good damage with a neutral electric move, and there is also a decent chance of paralysis, but for whatever reason they did not seem to be very proactive today. Sure, Flamethrower does good damage and defeats 2 of his Pokémons immediately, but I'm not going to lie, it was a bit of a letdown. After acquiring the second badge, I can explore a lot more of the region until we end up on top of the volcano, having to deal with Maxi for the first time. Here I underestimated him, or to be more precise, I underestimated Camerapt. I thought that it would not be that bad, considering that Icy Wind is neutral, but my 4 times weakness to ground did not help the situation. He gets a couple of high-level magnitudes, which chunk away a good portion of my HP every time. In this attempt I got lucky and his magnitudes were a bit more tame, so I was able to survive them and defeat the volcano Pokémon. Unsurprisingly, Zubat was not a problem since I have 2 moves to deal with him. This fight made me a bit worried about Flannery. She too has a Camerapt with a magnitude, and it's not like the rest of her team is a joke. I took a bit of time and bought Ice Beam to be slightly more prepared. Her pure fire types were still a problem. Slugma uses a Sunny Day, which is pretty bad since it will boost overheat. Camerupt, instead of bonking me with Magnitude, uses a Tackle for pitiful damage, and Torkoal got infected by Stupidity too, since he keeps using a Body Slam. Thanks to a hit in Confusion, I can finish off the tortoise in no time, and that's the Fire Gym done too, even more underwhelming than Watson. We now have to go back to our roots to take on the normal gym, but along the way we have to also stop by the fighting gym, since I am still missing his badge. Brawly is now quite easy. With a couple of flamethrowers his Pokémons are burned to a crisp. To be fair, if they survived, I am sure they could do good damage to me with fighting moves, even if they are many levels below me. And now it's finally time to attempt the fight against our dad. For this one I don't have any cheese for slacking, but I should not need it. I resist his normal moves, and his only other attacking move is a feint attack, which I also resist. Technically he has a counter too, but since I am only using special moves, that is not a problem. The thing I am most worried about in the fight is confusion, and while it's a bit annoying, it does not pose enough of a threat to stop me. For the majority of the fight, I was tickled by their attacks. I don't have enough damage to take them down in one turn, but that is not a problem, since they would need like 50 before defeating me. Some of you may not know that Aggron can learn Surf, but today I decided to not teach it. I already have decent coverage with other moves, and Swagger can come in handy. After defeating the Team Aqua Admiral in the Weather Institute, I can take revenge against May. At this point, my moveset is pretty good against her team. I do take a few hits here and there, but nothing to worry about, so now I can officially say that I am no longer scared of her. I guess she did not learn from the last video, because she once again hard switches in her starter, only for it to be demolished in 2 hits. Slugma is there, I guess. Once we are done with her, we can start the next gym fight against Winona. Her team of birds is not too dangerous, considering that I have an ice and electric move. I also have a flamethrower for the metal bird, so as long as I am a bit careful and not misclick like a dummy, I should be fine. Yeah, I immediately misclicked. Altaria does good damage, but from here I was more careful, and the rest of the team goes down to a series of one-shots. I am not sure why, but for this run I did not check what type Hidden Power was. It could have been decent, but considering that Aggron has a surprisingly wide special move pool, I don't think I missed out on much. Then I took on the last fight against May. As you might expect, this one was not that hard either. Sure, I can't sweep her team with a bunch of one-shots, but they are not really able to deal that much damage to me either. It took a few more turns than I wanted, but eventually we can get rid of all her Pokémons and move on with the story. The next stop is inside of the volcano, where we can find Maxi about to wake up the ground legendary. After he is done with that, we can start a fight against him. His team is still quite dangerous. Since I still don't have a water move, Camerupt is able to survive a hit or two and deal some decent damage back to me, but in this attempt I blow it away with a crit. I guess that's one way to solve the problem. After turning Crobat into a popsicle, I have to do a few more story beats until we reach the Team Aqua hideout. Here we have to take down the other admin of the organization, and I'm sorry to say that he is not a challenge at all. Since I was so eagerly looking for a hard fight, the game provided with Tate and Liza. I did not expect them to be this hard. Sure, I know that Claydol has Earthquake, but I thought that once he was defeated, the rest of the team could not do much to me. Instead, I got defeated quite a few times by them. I should have probably left to go level up a bit against wild Pokémons, but instead I stayed until I got good RNG. In this attempt, Swagger worked overtime and made them hit themselves a lot. This bought me enough turns to fire off a bunch of ice beams. Here is where Surf might have proved very useful, but I did not think about it at the time. The main problem here is that they all like to spam Calm Mind. That allows them not only to do more damage to me, but also to take a lot less from my special moves, turning what is usually a 2-shot into a 3-shot or more, considering all of the potions they have in stock. Fortunately, they saved them for their last Pokémon, so I can keep lowering his HP immediately after they heal it. After acquiring the Psychic Badge too, we have to deal with the other double fight in the island by helping Steven against the two heads of Team Magma. Unfortunately, in this fight, Metang was too powerful and did not die. I would have liked to see the two special Aggrons side by side. If I'm not wrong, his one is male, so that could have started a romance. I clearly don't have much to say about this fight, since I'm resorting to such stupid fantasies. Since the video is coming out near Halloween, tell me in the comments, do you have any plans? Personally, I hate this holiday. Call me the Grinch, but I find it cringe to dress up in a costume. And there goes the cosplay community. Sorry, but that's just not my thing. I am probably going to spend the day either recording a video or trying to fix the layout to get rid of the blinking. It's driving me crazy, but I can't find a solution. Once we have finally defeated all 6 of their Pokémons, we are given the Dive HM, and with that we can reach the next story spot. In the seafloor cavern, we have to defeat Archie to hopefully stop him. He is a lot easier than Maxi. Instead of Camerupt, he has a Sharpedo who is quite weak to electricity, so he is defeated in very little time with no issues. I was a bit confused about outspeeding Crobat until I remembered I have Quick Claw equipped and it does not display any text when it activates. After defeating the Team Aqua leader, we have to go find Rayquaza, since the two legendaries are both active and currently destroying the region. As usual, while I do that, I would kindly ask you guys and girls to like, subscribe, ring the bell, and maybe share the video. Once we are done with all of that, it's time to start the last gym. Juan is kinda dangerous. He uses water types who are super effective against me. I am not defenseless though. I can also do a lot of super effective damage on them with Thunderbolt. The only two exceptions being Kindra and Whiscash. Fortunately, they are both 2-hit KOs, so they can do some damage to me, but not enough to take me down, before I can finish off this gym too, to earn the Cascade, I think it's called, badge. Up next, it's the fight against Wally in the Victory Road. We have a lot of coverage with our special moves, so his heterogeneous team is not really a problem with us. There are a couple of annoying things. First, it's Delcatti, because Wally uses a few full restores on it, so it takes forever to go down. And the other is Gardevoir, since it has a lot of special defense, but it can't do much to us, so eventually we are able to defeat his whole team and are almost ready to take on the league. I took a lot of time to grind experience before starting, until I reached level 88. This, plus the rare candies, allow me to reach 100 if I need to. Our first obstacle is Sidney. He is not much of a problem. We have super effective moves for 3 of his Pokémons, so they should be easy. The only things that may leave are the 2 pure dark Pokémons. Mightyena is a one-shot, meanwhile Absol is able to endure a hit, but only sets up Sword Dance. The first match was easy. The second one is a bit more problematic, since I don't know if I have enough damage to defeat Dusclops before he uses Curse. As expected, I don't, but instead of sealing my fate, he prefers to toy with me by using Confuse Ray. Well, that was a mistake on her part. It's not immediate, but eventually I was able to defeat her lead before it had the chance to use Curse. That's great, but we are not out of the woods yet. The rest of her team has some strong moves, and if I get crit once or twice, it's not going to end well for me. Fortunately, there are no crits incoming, so even though I took quite a bit of damage from a trainer that I supposedly resist, I ended up defeating Pheobe in the first attempt. This experience made me doubt if I could win the league at this level, but for the moment I remained hopeful and went into the Glacia fight without using the rare candies. The fight against the third Elite Four is a bit weird. Half of her team is part water type, but I am almost sure that only Walrein knows a water move. So while it is a threat, the rest of her team should be easy. In this fight, I used either Thunderbolt or Flamethrower depending on which Pokemon I was facing, and believe it or not, this was the easiest match. Drake is last, and of course for him I spammed Ice Beam like there is no tomorrow. It might have been a good idea to also pick up Dragon Claw for the Kindra, but I did not feel like it, since it's quite a bit out of the way. The seahorse used a smokescreen on me. I was not expecting that, and it's very bad, but I guess RNG was smiling upon me because I did not miss that many hits. I did miss a couple, and that gave him the opportunity to land some hits on me, but in the end I did not lose because of it, so I will consider myself lucky. For the champion, I wanted to use the Sunny Day Solar Beam combo, but I forgot to pick up one of the moves. I still tried him a couple of times with and without Solar Beam, but since I didn't really want to go out and redo the Elite Four again, I just used the rare candies to get to 100 and brute forced my way through him. The fight was still not free, since even a single surf is enough to cut my HP in half, but at the end of the day I was able to defeat him with no resets while at max level, so I can't really complain. And with that, Aggron defeated the game while using only special attacks. My opinion on it? It's not great, but since special is much better than physical in this game because of all the intimidates, in the end it was a somewhat easy run. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like, share, subscribe, ring the bell and leave a comment with any video ideas or feedback. See you next week. Bye!